Hi, I'm CJ and this is my RC channel. I wanted to give an update to my plans for 2019. Pretty much everything I talked about in the previous video is all moving forward. As I mentioned in a previous video, the Avia 2.5 project has been temporarily put on hold. I missed the last of the F5J competitions, and there are a bunch of thermal duration competitions coming up, so I'm building a straight up 2-meter glider rudder elevator spoiler to compete in thermal duration, no motors, F3J. So that's the major change. There's some additions to the already spoken of kits and the stuff that's already in the works. I picked up a couple drones. I've got a little micro drone, a Whoop, some people call them, and I picked up a 3-inch standard sized drone in a kit. It's very inexpensive. It's about $80 for the kit, and it is complete, but it is also completely unassembled. Everything needs to be soldered together. Everything needs to be assembled. You get all the parts, motors, props, carbon fiber frame, but nothing is done. It all needs to be put together, and I'm going to be going over that step by step, including plugging it into a PC, programming the software for the flight controller, setting up the radio, the entire process. I'm going to be going through that. I may add a couple little knickknacks to it. For example, there is a little item about a little bigger than a chiclet. It's a finder. It's got a little strobe light and a loud beeper that is designed to run on its own little battery. So if the main battery gets disconnected, this little thing will strobe and beep every few seconds and helps you locate it if it's stuck in a tree or down in some shrubs or whatever. Drones can be pretty hard to spot once they're down. They're small, especially if it's some distance away. I also got an entry-level set of goggles, not a box goggle, but a very small set of goggles that are very inexpensive. I wanted to do this as cheap as possible, a how to get started in this kind of video series, and I'll be going through all of that. And of course, as you've probably noticed, I do have some RC cars. I've raced RC cars for years and years, on and off. This is a TLR 22 short course truck, 2-wheel drive. It's all built. It's been sitting for a couple of years now. I've got battery packs and everything, so I will be taking that to a nearby indoor track this fall as the weather starts turning away. I also have, let's see, I can't get to it easily right now. I've got some floats for one of my foamy planes, so I'm going to see if I can find some water to take off of and do some water takeoff landings. And I have a set of snow skis for a plane that I am in process of building. That's the Porterfield Collegiate. I've spoken of that in various videos in the past. It's a very old, the kit's older than I am. It's an old stick build, mostly 1/4 inch, square stick. And I've made a lot of mods to it. I've changed the design to handle a more modern outrunner type of motor as opposed to this ancient brick. And I'll be running it on some 6S batteries. It's going to be about 1.5 meters wingspan. It's going to stand pretty tall. It's a chunky short takeoff landing STOL airplane. Should be neat. Really looking forward to seeing that fly. And I may be doing some POV with that. I've got a little gimbal system, up, down, left, right, so I can put a first-person view camera on that and possibly put that in the cabin area, because it is an open cabin unlike most foam planes. So it might be kind of neat to have a little camera actually, behind the plexiglass or plastic windows and be able to look out of the airplane while it's in flight and kind of pan the view around. So we'll see how that goes. But that may not get done toward the later end of the season, and thus the skis. So we get some good snow. I am going to hightail it out to the field. I've kind of had to stop flying for the moment, unfortunately. For those of you who have been following the Raven build, the Raven is done. I actually did some maiden flights with it. I'm almost done cutting the last of the videos. I've been putting those out for you as fast as I can go through the video footage and get those cut. Unfortunately, I didn't have my camera set up properly. I didn't get any footage at all of those handful of maiden flights that I did. That same day I was flying another plane of mine as well. It's a foamy glider, powered glider, and I lost sight of it for a second. I was having trouble focusing and crashed the puppy. It's not totaled at all, surprisingly. It's one of those planes from Banggood, and basically it's out of China, ASW 28. Some of you have heard of that. Those who haven't can look that up. It's actually a very nice foamy glider. They're heavy. It's also very similar to the Phoenix series. It's the same company that makes them all. Like the Phoenix 1600, Phoenix 2000. I think they just brought out a Phoenix 2400. Those are very nice planes. They are heavy for being powered gliders. You know, bear that in mind, because the fuselage is made out of a very durable rubberized plastic that they say is similar to what they make baby toys out of. Well, it's almost indestructible. This thing augered in, nose first, full power, and fuselage is fine. I'm going to have to rebuild the battery tray and you know, put a new prop on it, but the motor survived. The fuselage doesn't even look like it's been wrecked. I figured it was going to be about 4 inches shorter when I saw it hit the ground. Both wings came off, but it didn't damage them or the central spar. I had an aileron fall off and a few little repair knickknacks. The pilot area, the little plastic shell where the pilot sits, makes it look scale, and the canopy were trash. Not surprising at all. About $5 and about a week and a half wait, and they just came in the other day. So I'm going to be putting that back together. But the problem was that on the way home, I started having problems seeing out of my right eye. I was having trouble driving, made it home safe, obviously. But the problem got worse and worse over a handful of days. I went to an ophthalmologist, and I'm going to have an operation on my right eye, unfortunately. It's nothing that is going to be a long-term problem, but I'm not going to be able to fly for about a month. I'm going to continue building. I've got this 2-meter glider to work on and several other planes. So I'm going to get a lot of building done, but I'm not going to be able to get any new flight videos for you, unfortunately. But I'll get caught up on all that very shortly, starting probably in early September. The operation on my eye is scheduled for late August. So that gives you the basic time frame. It's right about the end of July now, and so I've got about a month to go on this. So that's where things are at. There's a lot of neat stuff coming, and I've got a lot of video to finish cutting and release for you, and then the drones. So keep checking back. I appreciate everyone who has commented. Please keep the comments coming. I appreciate all the you know, be critical. If you see something you think I should change, if you see something that can be done differently, please make those suggestions in the comments. You know, I want this to be a resource for especially new people to the hobby, but people who are in the hobby and want to advance, want to learn how to do scratch builds, things like that. The more information, the better. Well, thank you for contributing. Please click like, as always. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please click the little bell. You guys know the drill. Thank you.